Hi friends, it's Miss Martha. Here we are with book number 7 of the Magic Treehouse. It's called Sunset of the Sabertooth. The Ice Age is very cold for two kids in bathing suits. Jack and Annie nearly freeze when the Magic Treehouse whisks them back to the time of cave people and woolly mammoths. But nothing can stop them from having another wild adventure, not even a saber-toothed tiger. Yeesh. All right, let's see what this is about. The Ice Age. It looks very cold there. There's lots of snow. Let's see what happens. All right, we'll read the prologue. That gives us a little summary of what we've read so far. Okay. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse, and they found that it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the magic treehouse was magic. It could take them to the places in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. Jack and Annie have visited the dinosaurs, the knights, an Egyptian queen, pirates, ninjas, and the Amazon rainforest. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan was a magical librarian. She traveled through time and space, gathering books for King Arthur's library. On their 5th adventure, in Night of the Ninjas, Jack and Annie found a little mouse in the treehouse. Annie named their new friend Peanut. Jack and Annie also found a note from Morgan. The note told them that she was under a spell. To free her from the magic spell, Jack and Annie must find 4 special things. They found the first thing in old Japan, and the second in the Amazon rainforest. Now Jack and Annie and Peanut are about to set out in search of the 3rd thing in Sunset of the Sabertooth. Okay. Chapter 1, The M Things. Let's go to the treehouse, said Annie. She and Jack were passing the Frog Creek woods on their way home from their swimming class at the Y. No, I want to go home and change out of my bathing suit, said Jack. Oh, that'll take too long, said Annie. Don't you want to save Morgan as soon as possible? Of course, said Jack. There they are. They've got their towels and they're in their bathing suits. They've been at their swimming lesson. Looks like they're going to take a detour and stop at the treehouse. Well, then come on, before the sun sets, said Annie. She darted into the woods. Jack sighed. He gave up on the idea of changing out of his bathing suit. He pushed his glasses into place, and he followed Annie into the Frog Creek woods. The warm air smelled fresh and green. He moved through patches of sunlight and shadow, and soon he came to a small clearing. He looked up. There it was. The magic treehouse stood in the tallest tree in the woods. Hurry, called Annie. She was climbing the rope ladder up to the treehouse. Jack grabbed the ladder and he started up after her. Finally, they reached the treehouse. Squeak! A mouse sat on the windowsill. Hi, Peanut, cried Annie. Jack patted the little mouse's head. Sorry we didn't come sooner, Annie said, but we had to go to our swimming lesson. Squeak! What happened while we were gone? Asked Annie, looking around the treehouse. Jack stared at the large M carved into the wooden floor. On the M were a moonstone and a mango, the special things they'd already found on their last 2 journeys. Hey, guess what, said Jack. Moonstone and mango both start with the letter M, just like Morgan. You're right, said Annie. I bet all 4 things that we're supposed to find start with the letter M, said Jack. Right, said Annie. I wonder where we'll find the next one. She and Jack stared at the stack of books in the treehouse. Books on the Amazon rainforest, ninjas, pirates, mummies, knights, and dinosaurs. All of them were closed. Only one book lay open in the corner. We're just about to find out, said Jack. They walked over to the open book. They looked at the page the book was open to. It showed a picture of rocks and snow. Wow, said Annie. running her finger over the picture. "I love snow. I wish we could go there right now." "Wait," said Jack, "we're not prepared." And then he had another thought. "And we're wearing our bathing suits. Stop." "Oops," said Annie. Too late. The wind started to blow. The leaves started to shake. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. And then everything was silent. It was as silent as the falling snow. There they are. She's pointing at the picture, making the wish. I think it's too late. Chapter 2, Bones. Jack, Annie, and Peanut looked outside the treehouse window. Snow was falling from a gray sky. The treehouse was in the tallest tree in a grove of tall bare trees. The grove was on a wide white plain. Beyond the plain were high rocky cliffs. "I'm cold," said Annie. Her teeth were chattering. She wrapped her towel tightly around her. Squeak! Peanut sounded cold too. "Oh, poor mouse," said Annie. "I'll put you into Jack's pack. You'll be warmer there." Annie slipped Peanut into the pocket of the backpack. "We have to go home," said Jack. "We need warmer clothes." "We can't go home," said Annie. "We can't find the Pennsylvania book. Not until our mission is complete, remember? That's the way the magic works." "Oh, right," said Jack. He looked around. There was no sign of the Pennsylvania book that always took them home. Annie peered out the window again. "Where are we, anyway?" she asked. "I'll find out," said Jack. He picked up the open book and read the title on the cover. The title of the book was called Life in the Ice Age. "Ice Age?" said Annie. "No wonder we're cold." "We better find the third M thing soon before we freeze to death," said Jack. "Look," whispered Annie. "People." She pointed out the window. Jack saw them too. There were 4 figures standing on a cliff. 2 big figures and 2 little ones, and they were all holding long spears. "Who are they?" said Annie. "I'll look in the book," said Jack. Here they are. There's Jack and Annie. Look at, they're wrapped up in their towels so they don't get cold. And there are the books in the window. And way across over here, look at all the snow up on the cliffs. There's 4 people with big spears. Let's find out who they are. Jack found a picture of some people, and he read the caption to Annie. "Early modern humans were called Cro-Magnons. During the Ice Age in Europe, they sometimes lived in caves beneath cliffs." "Why are they carrying spears?" said Annie. Jack turned the page. He found another picture of the Cro-Magnons, and he read out loud. "The Cro-Magnon family often hunted together. They covered deep pits with branches, and then they drove reindeer and mammoths into the traps." "Oh, trapping the animals. That's sad," said Annie. "No, it's not," said Jack. "They couldn't live without hunting. They didn't have supermarkets, you know. They had to hunt for their food." They watched the family disappear over the other side of the cliff. "Come on, I'm freezing," said Jack. "Let's hurry and find the M thing while the Cro-Magnons are hunting." "But I want to meet them," said Annie. "Forget it," said Jack. "They don't have books that tell them about us. They'll think we're some kind of enemy and hurl their spears at us." "Oh, yikes," said Annie. Jack put his book away. Squeak! Peanut peeked out of the backpack. "You stay in there," said Annie. Jack pulled on his pack and started down the rope ladder. Annie followed. On the icy ground they huddled together to stay warm. The wind was biting cold. Jack put his towel over his head. Snow blew against his eyeglasses. "Hey, Jack," said Annie, "look at me." Annie had put on her swimming goggles. "Now I can see," she said. "Good thinking," said Jack. "Now cover your head with your towel. Most of your body heat is lost through the top of your head." Annie wrapped her towel around her head. "We should find a cave or someplace warmer," said Jack. "I bet there are caves in those cliffs over there," said Annie. She and Jack started across the white plain. The snow wasn't deep yet, but the wind was blowing hard. "I told you!" Annie pointed to an opening in the rocks. It was a cave. They ran right towards it. "Careful," said Jack. They stepped carefully into the shadowy cave. It was only a little bit warmer inside, but at least the wind wasn't blowing. In the gray light, they stamped the snow off of their sneakers. Annie took off her goggles. "It smells in here," said Jack. "Yeah, it smells like a wet dog," said Annie. "Let me see what I can find out," said Jack. He pulled out the Ice Age book again. "I'm going to look around," said Annie. "Maybe the M thing is in here, and then we can go home and get warm." Jack stood by the entrance of the cave so he could have light to read the book. "This cave is filled with sticks," Annie said. "What?" said Jack. He didn't look up from the book. "No, wait. I don't think they're sticks. I think they're bones," said Annie. "Bones?" echoed Jack. "Yeah, lots of them back here. They're all over the floor." Jack turned the pages of his book. He found a picture of a cave filled with bones. "I hear something," said Annie. Jack read the writing below the picture of the cave, and it said, The great cave bears of the Ice Age were over 8 feet tall. These bears were larger and fiercer than today's grizzly bears. Their caves were filled with the bones of their ancestors. "Annie," Jack whispered, "get back here, now." They were in the cave of a giant cave bear. Never heard of a cave bear. All right, see you next time for Chapter 3. Brr.